Joining me now is an undefeated pro middleweight fighter based in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, who just signed with Quebec promotion TKO MMA. It is Mariusz Ksiazkiewicz here on the program for the second time. Mars, it's been a long time, at least as far as doing an interview goes. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Yes, thanks again for taking the time. Really appreciate it. So let's dive right in. How did this deal with TKO come together?
So my manager, Monty Cox, he's been looking for fights for me for March, and he kind of just, texted me one day, hey, we have a 3-fight deal here for TKO, fight opportunity in March. Do you want to take it? So I jumped on it right away, but unfortunately the opponent, didn't agree to the fight. So, I got the contract anyways, but I believe the first fight will be May 5th. So it's a little ways away, but, it is what it is. I'm happy with the decision we made.
Was there any opportunity to get on a sooner card? Now that I think about it, I don't actually know. TKO might be putting on one more card before May, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. That's so I accepted a fight for that March 16th show, but we couldn't come to an agreement. So, I accepted a fight, but it didn't work both ways. So, May 5th it is.
So you said you have 3 fights on the current contract, anyways?
Yeah, it's a 3-fight deal, 1-year contract. So,
whatever
keep me busy.
Happens first.
Yeah.
Okay. How frustrating has this past year been? And ultimately, not just this past year, but the past probably 4 or 5 years. Of course, just looking to your record, your last fight was in Alaska Fighting Championships, October 2016. Before that, it was at Prestige FC 2 in March. So already there that was a long layoff. But before that March 2016 fight, you hadn't fought since 2013. How frustrating has, I guess, the better part of the past 5 years been for you, MMA wise?
It's been super frustrating. I've been in the gym every day, training hard. I'm always accepting these, opportunities to fight, and then for whatever reason, fights fall through or whatever. So that actually my last fight there in Alaska, I actually didn't get paid for that. Not even the flight. I paid out of my pocket to fly out there just to fight. I was desperate to fight. So, it's just been a super frustrating couple of years. Watching my teammates get fights, watching my teammates, even fighting here in Winnipeg. I haven't been able to fight in Winnipeg. So it's just, I don't know. It's a roller coaster, right? But, hoping TKO keeps me busy and, we change it around.
So before we keep talking about TKO, what happened with that Alaska card? You said you didn't get paid. Obviously, that wouldn't have been the plan going in. Did they just sort of go silent on you after the fight, or what exactly happened?
No. They're not like a big budget promotion to begin with. And I guess we were supposed to get paid. I had no idea what I was going to get paid. First of all, I didn't get the contract until I got there. But, it just, I'm Canadian, they're American. Legally they're not supposed to pay me.
Okay,
so,
interesting.
Since then I've got an American work visa, so that problem's been resolved. But the purse wasn't substantial or anything, so it didn't bother me at all. I just wanted to fight. That's all I wanted, right?
Well, I was going to say that goes to show how much you just want to fight, and even though you love to make a living off this, I would assume, but you're still doing this because it's a passion, because you love it. And I think taking a fight for zero money and having to spend a little money to get there, that sort of shows that, hey, you like fighting MMA.
Yeah, no, exactly. It was on Fight Pass too, and I never fought on Fight Pass before, so I was like, you know what? It's a good opportunity to get my name out there, get some viewers out there, maybe the right people will, watch the fight, you know what I mean? So it was just an opportunity I couldn't pass up, and it didn't bother me that I didn't get paid or anything.
Okay. Before signing with TKO, you mentioned that you've been training every day. Like, how far does that go back? Was there ever a time when I would imagine that sometimes walking into WAMA, into your gym, it's sort of just with the frustration. So was it difficult to keep on training without having a fight booked, or with having one booked, but have it fall out, or?
It's not that difficult. Just not that difficult because, I'm teaching classes as well. Once or twice a week I teach a class, so, I got to be there anyway, so may as well get a workout in. But, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I've just been doing this for so long. It's just a lifestyle, right? I've been doing this since I was 16. I'm 28 now. It's just part of my daily regimen. Go to WAMA, train, go home, spend time with family, and it's like that every day. So, of course, it's frustrating that I'm not fighting, but it is what it is. I don't know. I help the other guys out. Thomas Richardson just fought last night. He pulled off a big win. So like I'm happy when I see my teammates succeed as well. So it is what it is, man. Like, what can I say?
But I gotta imagine you expect to stay a lot more active now that you're signed with TKO. You have a longer-term deal. It's not just a one-fight deal like when you're fighting for, say, Prestige or other promotions. I guess 3 fights in a year, is that sort of ideal for you?
Yeah, I'm hoping 3 fights in 2018. It's almost March already, but I've talked to Stefan Patry, and he told me they're expecting 8 shows this year. So, that's a lot of opportunity to get those 3 fights in 2018. So that's what I'm hoping for, and, hopefully all goes well.
Not only is TKO a good move for you just because they're a pretty big organization in Canada, maybe even the biggest, especially because they are on Fight Pass and get that extra UFC-backed exposure, so to speak, but you'll have a couple fights a year at the very least, as you said, hopefully 3. Do you feel like this might remind people who you are? Because you've had 2 fights since 2013. It's not like you've had setbacks, but as far as losses, but you've been set back as far as just not being able to fight for various reasons. Do you feel like this is sort of a big opportunity for you to rejuvenate your career in a way?
In a way, yeah. Like, I don't know. It's, I'm just going to go in there and, keep doing what I'm doing. Hopefully, remind people who I am, right? Because I'm not really expecting anybody to, throw my name out there or anything like. It's been a year and a half since I fought, and not out of choice or anything, but just hoping this it takes off from here. You only have so many years in the sport, so hoping to take advantage of this opportunity.
And at the very least, even if it doesn't, quote, rejuvenate your career or whatever, it's going to take your career to the next level.
Oh, definitely. It'll definitely kickstart it a little bit, like I've never fought 3 times in a year, not since I was amateur. So having my name out there on a regular basis, a couple times a year is definitely going to help.
So May is likely when you will make your TKO debut over in Quebec. Now is it sort of just keep on training and then start fight camp next month, or when do you sort of get into sort of hard training, so to speak, your training camp?
Yeah, like I said earlier, like I'm in the gym every day. Definitely the intensity will start picking up 8 weeks out, maybe even 6 weeks out, depending on how I feel shape-wise, how my cardio feels. I don't want to run myself down and then, 2 weeks before the event have to pull out or because of an injury or something, you know what I mean? So I'm actually not a big fan of really long camps. So I feel like a 6 to 8 weeks is perfect to, get in shape, especially since I'm training every day already. I just need to pick up the intensity a little bit and, this fight shape comes on quick.
It must feel a little bit like you've had a year and a half long fight camp anyways.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely, I get an opportunity, I accept it, and then, you start fight camp, and then 2 weeks later you find out that, it's not happening. You're like, so, you chill out a little bit, slow it down. You can't train hard every day just because, you're going to kill yourself, you're going to start getting injured. So you gotta train smart in this game.
And we mentioned Fight Pass already, but how important is it to be on a UFC branded platform? As a guy who, I'll ask you about this again in a little bit, but I would assume your aspirations are still the UFC. It didn't really work out on Alaska FC. I mean, sometimes I guess if you have the right people watching it, you might get the call. Didn't happen, but TKO seems to be a pretty big platform on Fight Pass that helps. Do you feel like that's a big add sort of to this deal?
Oh, for sure. TKO has a lot of the top 85ers in the country. A lot of the guys there have, really good records. They fought good guys. They're, pretty well known in the country. They come from big gyms, so the opportunity to have the right eyes watching is definitely there.
So you're 6-0 as a pro MMA fighter, of course. It seems like if you were able to stay active, you'd probably be in the UFC right now. Of course, that was
years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Years ago.
Even being trying out for the Ultimate Fighter way back in 2014.
Yeah, 2013 actually.
2013. Okay.
2013. Yeah. So I think I was 3-0 back then, and myself, Andrea Pavlik, Jared Milko, we all made it to the final selection, right? It was like the top 10 in each weight class or whatever it was. So, the opportunity was there. They told me to get a couple more fights back then. I mean, they obviously didn't happen often enough, fighting once a year or once. I had a 2.5-year layoff at one point in time. So, people move on. They forget who you are, and then, you kind of have to fight often to make them remember,
So is the MMA dream still the UFC?
For sure, definitely. I'm still young, only 28. I don't have a lot of miles on me, don't have a lot of injuries. The dream's still there.
Interesting. Okay, so say you fight 3 times for TKO this year. That puts you at 9-0. That puts you... There's no excuse as far as you weren't active enough. You'd have 3 fights in basically half a year since, I guess, May of this year. Is that enough, in your opinion? Do you think you get the call at 9-0, or would you have to fight again in 2019 for TKO? What's your... Obviously, you want to get there as soon as possible, but realistically, what would be your prediction as far as how long it takes?
Realistically, I think that would be enough. If that were to happen, where I'm 9-0, there's no question. You're fighting good guys, and that's all they want. They don't want a guy that's 9-0 who fights, 0-16 fighters. You know what I mean? They want guys who fight tough fights, have been put in, tricky situations. 9-0 is a great record. There's guys that are getting in at, much lower records, right? So being a top guy from Canada, fighting top guys in Canada, I think that's definitely attainable.
How much would winning the TKO middleweight title help with the UFC chances, with your UFC chances? Is that sort of the goal right now, besides getting to the UFC, the sort of short-term goal?
Yeah, that would be definitely the short-term goal, win the debut, win the next one, and hopefully the third fight, fight for the title. Definitely that would be the short-term goal. You definitely have eyes on you once you win that title.
Now, you became a first-time father in about just over a year ago. I think it was January 2017 when your daughter was born. How has that been, obviously, just becoming a father? How nice has it been? How life-changing has it been having a daughter? And has it been difficult to balance, being with her and taking care of her and work and training and all that? And will it be even more so now that you're sort of back, active MMA fighter?
The first month or so was a little difficult, but after about a month, she started sleeping the whole night, and it's been like that ever since. Knock on wood. So, that's definitely eased the transition into fatherhood. But I stay at home all day with her, take care of her during the day, train during the night, do my runs in the morning. Nothing's really changed training-wise. I could have fought, being introduced into fatherhood after a month or so. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there wasn't much of a change other than I can't just, put on my jacket and leave the house. I got to make sure she's changed, fed, dress her up. You know what I mean? Like, that's really the only thing that I noticed, just getting her ready. It takes an extra 30 minutes just to leave the house.
And she's got to be extra motivation for you, especially when you get back in the cage, right?
Oh, for sure. For sure. I'm not coming home with a black eye, that's for sure.
Fair enough. You mentioned that, of course, you do some coaching at WAMA, Winnipeg Academy of Mixed Martial Arts. Is that the only way you pay the bills, or do you have a day job like some of your other teammates?
Yeah, I have a day job as well. Part-time, I'm doing renovations and stuff like that. So I have a pretty flexible schedule when it comes to that. The wife just finished nursing, so she'll be helping with paying the bills pretty soon once she gets a job. And, so that'll make things a lot easier, too. I can focus more on fighting. But like I said, I've been training just as much, before I became a father. So there's not a big change there.
Is there any way with TKO, say, again, you stay as active as you hope, 3 fights in a year, 3 fights this year, would you be able to leave that day job and become a full-time fighter / coach, or would you have to stay on with that day job until making it to the UFC?
You know what? Like, I wouldn't mind sticking to the day job just because, I don't know, like, you can only train so many hours before your body breaks down. As long as I have a flexible schedule, you know what I mean, where, I can train in the morning, I can train in the evening. In between, I can work. Like, it's not going to bother me. I got to stay busy.
All right. Well, Mars, thank you very much for the time. I appreciate it as always. Before I let you go, remind my audience where they can find you on social media, and if there's anybody you'd like to thank or give a shout out to, the floor is yours.
Yeah. I think all my social media is Iron Pole MMA. Add me on Instagram, Twitter, whatever. I'd like to thank, first and foremost, my coach, Curtis Brigham, my manager, Monty Cox, Chad Mason, training partners, Vitaly Romankov, he's my boxing coach, Dave Zuniga, he's helped me with my Muay Thai for many, many years. Craig Peniston, strength conditioning coach. Anyone who I missed, you know who you are. I want to thank you. Friends, family. Yeah, that's everything, man.